Are you stressed out with the holidays? Are you like, where do I start? What's my plan? What's next? Who's coming? How do I get all this work done? When is this due? Are you confused, brain fog, struggling, wake up in the middle of the night, adding things to your task list? Welcome. That is my life this week and the following week because this is holiday season. Hi, I'm Dr. Kortney Peagram, and I am the host of The Ordinary Professor. I'm also trying this live version where I can record and you can watch me as I do this podcast. Why am I sharing? Because this is the first time I do it, and I often don't know what I'm doing. So welcome to my space. If it's the first time you're here, I hope that you subscribe and you join the community. It's all about learning, about social skills, emotional intelligence, and like life skills. Who needs help? Well, I do. Now, where do I get my information? It's from the teaching, the learning, my own experience, my education. So I bring it all in and I try to formulate it for you to be easy to use. So today we're going to talk about how to get unstuck during the holiday season. So, do you have social anxiety? Do you get stressed out with a lot of people around you? Do you often feel overwhelmed in family situations or social situations? Hey, I think we can be friends because that's me. I know. Often people are very surprised that know me in person because they're like, well, you teach, you speak publicly, you've done a TEDx, you've sometimes I do assemblies or like presentations with like 3,000 people in the room. I'm like, yeah, but that's not me. That's a part of me. That's like Dr. Peagram or like the ordinary professor. I mean, me, myself, and I, like, catch me off guard and I can be awkward. And I've talked about this in my previous podcast about my social anxiety. And I think it's important to address that if you do get socially anxious, you need to have a plan to get unstuck during the holiday season. So let's talk about what to do, how to prepare, and some transition statements to get you unstuck when you have those awkward conversations. Okay, first off, I love these 3 P's. Prepare, right? Plan, and practical. So these 3 P's are going to run your holiday season. So let's talk about like planning, and then we'll go to prepare, and then we'll finish with practicality. So planning is critical. So let's say I do a few different phases of planning. So I love to verbally process some things, what is on my mind. So a few things that I've done so far is I've voice recorded all the things I have to get done. Then, because I spent a lot of time in traffic, I take my voice recording and I throw them in ChatGPT, transcribe, create me list, to-dos. So kind of ChatGPT becomes like my, let's say, agent, my holiday agent. So my holiday agent then plans my stuff in my head, the things I need to do, also my food prep list planning. So I throw everything into a voice memo and then I get it transcribed and I make it all pretty. And it's super, like, it saved me a ton of time, especially because if I'm having like kitchen conversations with my husband about meal, people, all that stuff, then I can voice record all that, transcribe it, and throw it in ChatGPT, and boom, voila. So that's practicality, my friend. So it's good to do as much as you can out of your head and plan it out. Now, so especially if you get overwhelmed easily, people don't necessarily like list after list after list because it freaks them out. But make it simple, stupid. Create a list and break it down into like easy to do action items, right? So go grocery shopping. That can be a lot when you think about it. Like, it can be, you need to go 5 different stores, look at the best deals. Oh, and if you have to do Costco on a Wednesday before Thanksgiving, that is a lot. Okay. So, but break it down, saying which stores you need to go to, what you need to get, and then try to make it most practical. So planning that all out can be really helpful. Now, planning day by day can be really useful for you to see visually what you need to get done. So it's project management 101. So all my project managers over there, like, just use that skill set in your home. Now, if you're hosting and you're planning, there's a lot of things that need to come into consideration. You have to do the cleaning, the cooking, the setup, right? So the managing the guests, managing the awkward conversations, the entertaining, the drinks, okay. So practicality, delegate as much as you can. So I used to want to be like one of the P's I'm not talking about, because that's not in our 3 P's, is the perfectionist. So I wanted everything to be perfect. Like the food, I wanted to be like, people just be in awe of Mike. How did she pull this off? Okay. So I'm being really vulnerable saying that was my perfectionist. And you know what? It's no matter how I tried, I never pulled it off the way I imagined. It was pretty much like, and it was very costly for me because my mental health, my relationship with my husband, and then I was a nervous wreck during the actual like event. I was like just like all over the place. So my social anxiety would come out as I'd be like almost like a Tasmanian devil. Like I'd be hyped up the entire time, running from person to person to person, making sure everything was perfect. I didn't enjoy myself, and I didn't look like I was enjoying myself. And actually, my nervous energy was probably stressing out my family and friends. So, practicality. Delegate as much as you can, because perfect should not be in your 3 P's. You know what? Your upstairs isn't clean. Who cares? Who's even going upstairs? Okay. Your backyard is a mess. Who cares? Like, it's freezing in Chicago. It's your second fridge. No one's going to go out there, right? And especially if you're doing like dinner Thanksgiving, like it gets dark at like 4. Okay. So think practicality. What can be the best use of your time? And forget everything about it's a one day, one event, like no one's paying attention. Okay. So take care of the things that are most important and like in the space where everyone's going to be, and everything else can wait. Now, next. I used to stress out because I didn't want anyone bringing food. I wanted kind of total control over the menu. I don't know if anyone else like that, but that was a lot. Now, my family loves to cook. And it can be very stressful for me because they always want to bring something, and I don't know like how to manage that because my social anxiety, right? Also, another P, people pleasing. So I have to woo-saw myself and get myself calm and say, according a la Mel Robbins, let them. If they want to bring food, let them. It's actually less work for me. Let's work on more of like, the more they bring, the less I have to do. So I actually figured out a plan this year where, so I turned my office is right off the kitchen. So I turned my office in a second kind of like meal prep area where all the food that they bring, they can put there. So then the kitchen is my husband's and my side dishes, and no one has to stress out. And the wine and alcohol and snacks and appetizers are in the dining room. And so that way I kind of, right, think about practicality and planning. That way no one's going to be, so my husband does his own thing in the kitchen. No one's going to stress him out. It's like, and they have access to like second food prep with a microwave and a heating thing. So it's all perfect, right? And so the other P, let's take the perfect out. It's all great for everyone. Everyone has a space and everything has a space, and that reduces the anxiety. Now, when it comes to like thinking about preparedness, so doing as much as you can the few days before, the night before is perfect. Or it's great. Because if you can get the table set sooner, the better. If you can get as much as you can get clean, the sooner, the better. If you can get the grocery shopping, the sooner, the better, right? And believe me, I am last minute, not because I like being last minute. It's because I got a gazillion things going on. So most of the food won't be shopped till like Wednesday, but I can do a lot of the other stuff, the organizing, the setting the table, the cleaning way before. And I can buy and go grocery shopping in chunks. I don't have to do it all at once. So that's really important. And now if you can delegate anything, like if, you know, your friends want to come and help, like let them, have them come and help if you need some prep beforehand. So use practicality and preparation together. So in your planning, let's call it a document, have what needs to be prepared and who's doing what, who's bringing what, right? And if you're like, you know what, I don't have time, just voice memo it and then transcribe it, throw into ChatGPT, you know, and there's even cool emojis. I created a menu for my husband on a text message. I look like a pro. He doesn't know I use ChatGPT. He's probably like, how did she get all these emojis and stuff? It's great when your husband's not good with tech. So I look like a rock star. Okay. Now, next for social anxiety, you need to plan what you're going to wear, how you're going to show up, and your attitude. I know you're like, what are you talking about? You need to plan your attitude. So you can choose to be anxious, be like in survival mode. So survival mode is, oh, I got to watch, like Aunt Betty's going to say something inappropriate, and then Bob's going to drink too much, and then, oh, here goes Aunt Linda. And so you can really stress yourself out with like survival mode of what people might say and how you're going to deal with it. Okay. So that's an old version of perfectionism, and that's out the window. You know what? I cannot control what people are going to say. They want to talk about politics, about religion, about equity, about gender, about, I don't know why these things come up on the conversation of Thanksgiving, but they do. Okay. And what I teach are those classes mostly. So I have, it's not politics, but diversity, and I do power and influence. So I know a lot about the topic. I just stay so far away, right? I either go in the kitchen, I make sure all the kids are having fun, like, and then I exit those conversations as fast as I can, saying, hey, ooh, that's something interesting to talk about. And I'll say, like, I got to go check on this. And I just exit. Have ways to pivot yourself out of a conversation so you don't get stuck into it. So if, like, say, I don't know, your mother-in-law is like, come here and visit with me. What you do is, instead of getting on the comfy couch and getting stuck, right? You can say, I'd love to visit. Grab a taller chair or somewhere, or lean on like a doorway or a wall, and just have a 5-minute conversation. She said, oh, sit down for a minute. Be like, oh, I'd love to. I just popped something in the oven. I need to check on it. But like, let's just chat. I have 5 minutes for you, right? And you can be like, oh, I just have to make sure that timer's on so I can get the stuff in the oven. So by playing off as the host that you're taking care of food, you can still enjoy conversations shorter, like stints of like 5 to 7 minutes. Those are my magic windows. Okay. Now also in planning, so we talked about food, we talked about location, like preparation, like zoning out your house to be prepared. But now we have to zone out the people in your house and how you're going to manage those. So obviously I'm an overanalyzer as a psychologist myself, and an anxious person. I think of everything prior to it happening, and I always go worst case scenario, but now with my training I go best case scenario. So then I have all the things. How is that helpful? Because I can say, like, this isn't going to happen. Like, that's the worst case scenario, and the best case scenario would be how I show up and how I deal and navigate these conversations. So by planning and preparing, this is very useful. So decide who you want to spend the time with. And as a host, you have to talk to everybody, but the one you want to spend the most time, then lengthen your conversations. And the one you want to say shorter, short them. And by me having that in my mindset, like, I love spending time with my sister. So I could talk to her for hours, right? So I might sit on the comfy couch when I talk to her because it's after dinner, everyone's chilling, and I have more time. And so by me kind of playing out these scenarios, it calms my mind. Next, I always have strong exit transition statements to get myself out. Like, my family makes fun of me. I do not do well on group texts. I hate them. So I don't respond. And people know that. So I'll go on a side and be like, hey, Betty, thanks for the text. Like, I'm going to bring this. I don't know why, like, as I got older, just brought more and more anxiety, the group messaging. It's a lot. But so that's one of the things I do, like, right. So I do the same thing when there's like big conversations in groups of people, and I just like don't either feel that my opinion is validated, worthwhile, or everyone's going to really listen. They're just talking to talk and not talk to listen. I can always side conversation someone and be like, hey, how's that cranberry sauce, right? So you don't have to engage and respond to everyone. Okay. Now, additionally, another trick I have that I love is, if someone says something inappropriate, a few things you can say. You can say, ooh, that's a hot topic that I'm not touching. You can say, wow, that's something I usually talk about in class, and since I have the day off today, it's not on my list. Okay. And coming back to lists is I create a list of topics that I would not want to engage in. I make clearly, like, religion, politics, like, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm off work today. I don't have to talk about it. And the things that I want to talk about, right, I make sure that they're on my front of my mind. So I want to talk maybe about my sister's upcoming events. My friend Michelle's like, she loves books. Tell me, my aunt loves books. I just love to talk about books. So I want to engage in that. And so those are things that I plan ahead that make me excited about conversations, and I know what I don't want to talk about. And that having, like, moving to your conscious level is really helpful. Now, lastly, it's a little more work, but identify your triggers. Know what gets you going, like going in the bad way, like it's going to like emotionally deregulate you. So I don't like when people speak badly of other people, especially if they're in the room or in the other room. It really upsets me. So you nip it. So I caught myself, there was someone, or if someone says something mean or inappropriate to the person, sometimes I'm just like wondering, like, did she just really say that? And so I used to be like, ooh, now I caught myself the other day. I was so proud of myself. Someone said something and I was like, that's really mean. And she was like, what? I was like, I didn't mean it that way. I'm like, well, that's how it came out. And I was like, ooh, like ding, 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 points for me. I was like winning at life. I just feel like I'm probably getting in an age also and a place in my life where I'll just call it out. I wasn't being like, I didn't like scream it, but I was like, hey, that's really mean. No, you can't say that. Like, and the person autocorrected. So it might hurt their feelings, but like, honestly, it's better that they know that you can't say some stuff like that in front of other people. So that I address immediately. And if it's someone talking bad about someone else, I nip it, meaning I'll be like, hey, so this is not the time to talk about them, or they're in the other room. No, or we're not doing this. So call it out, right? But when I call it out and I walk away. I don't have time for the retort because I'm hosting. Okay. So those are some tips. Lastly, I do have one more tip. Okay. So if you've been watching me on social media or listening to my podcast, like I am a big glazer. Glazing is the act of giving people compliments at the right time, right moment, right? So I love to glaze during Thanksgiving. It's the best gift to give. Okay. So here's how I glaze my guests on Thanksgiving. I create like these cards. So first I start with a blank card. Okay. And I have some stickers. So I know if you're not watching me, you have no idea. So I take an index card, I put stickers on them, and then I write on the other side, like all the thing that I appreciate about them, and then a little note, like why I appreciate them. Then I am kind of like a book lover. I don't know if you've seen behind me. It's like ridiculous. Also, love books, love to share books. So I give them all from the year I've been reading books, some of my favorite books. I just distribute them. And I also know my people. So I know if it's a cookbook, if it's a advice book, quote book, you name it. Okay. So I'm going to show you, I know you're not, if you're listening, you can't see this, but so this is one of, I'm going to be giving to one of my guests at Thanksgiving is You Are a Badass. Oh, I love this book. It's an old but goodie. Read it years ago. Just loved it. And then, so I create these strength cards and I put all their strengths and why I love them. And then on the back, I put a little sticker because that person, she's definitely a tiger and I love her power. So I then put the little card and the book at their seating and they have a little name tag. And then that's their gift of kindness. And it's a re-gift. Like, right, I didn't go out and buy all these books. I've read them already. So it's the gift of giving. So it's not costly. It's very thoughtful. And actually, I usually like pour myself a really nice glass of wine and I just do the cards like over the weekend. I'll probably do them because I won't do them on Wednesday night because that's really stressful. So that's the wrap up for what we do. So we plan, we prepare, and we do everything as practical as possible. Practicality is key. Mwah. The chef's kiss to a best Thanksgiving ever for my overly anxious and socially awkward people. Welcome to my podcast. So if you find this is like useful, if you like these tips, or maybe something like that it's good to do and I'm validating it, please like and subscribe. And you know what? Please come back. Tell me, is this helpful? Did this happen? Like, I want to hear it. Like, spill the tea. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to say I'm grateful for you listening to me. This is my second season. Super excited. I love that each week I get more and more followers and subscribers. It means the world to me because that's my purpose, is to give back what I know, the skills, the knowledge, the abilities that can make everyone's life a little easier, build more connection so that we spread kindness one connection at a time. Take care and happy Thanksgiving.